This is the 2026 Honda Pilot Trailsport. Is this the trim level you should not overlook? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Holmes Honda in Bossier City for today's video. If you want to know more about this model or anything else they have in inventory, check out the link down in the description of the video. And there has been a minor refresh for 2026, a few little tweaks and changes here. The grille is going to be a little bit larger here. Something I do like here is that you don't have a ton of gloss black. Now we will have a gloss finish here, however, with the gray finish, I think that looks a little bit better. I don't know, it just kind of fits what we have here. Now you'll notice that right here you have a forward-facing or front view camera. Right there is the front camera washer. If you ever need that, anytime you run the windshield washer fluid, that's going to spray a stream of windshield washer fluid not only on your windshield but across the camera just to keep that nice and clean. You're going to have your nice large Honda logo and our full LED lighting with the LED headlights, daytime running lights, turn signal indicators, and down here on the lower portion of the bumper you will have those LED fog lights that so many of you seem to be so interested in. How about your safety features? Honda Sensing is here, adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation, and traffic jam assist. All-wheel drive, standard with the Trailsport trim level. We're going to have that same gray finish on our 18-inch wheels. You will also have a spare tire that's located underneath the rear of the vehicle. Now, what do you think about this matte finish on the side view mirrors? If you do any off-roading and you have any branches or sticks or little things that are hitting the mirror, that's not going to damage the way that a gloss finish would. So that's one reason why that's there. Turn signal indicators are built in. These are heated power adjustable side view mirrors with blind spot monitoring built in, and they're also heated. Now we're going to have our gloss black door handles, however, so a little bit of gloss black here, but I think that's neatly placed. You'll notice the trim around the windows once again is going to be in a matte finish, and even around the lower portion of the body right here. All of that intended to help you out with that off-roading, and it does give it a little bit of a different look as well. About an extra inch of ground clearance, a little bit over 8 inches compared to a little over 7 inches with other trim levels. And you also have the underbody skid plating protection for the engine and the gas tank. Something else that's changed for 2026, no matter what trim level you go with, you're going to have the roof rails up top, so you don't have to option that in or go with a specific trim level to have that feature anymore. We're going to work our way back here to the rear. Again, LED tail lights will be back here. And something else, the Pilot logo is right here. Notice that's surrounded in orange. That's going to be part of the Trailsport packaging. And as far as your towing capacity goes, you're looking at a maximum of 5,000 pounds. Under the hood of the Pilot is the 3.5-liter naturally aspirated 6-cylinder engine. It makes 285 horsepower and 262 pounds-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in about 6.9 seconds. Top speed is a little over 130 miles per hour. The engine will be mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, what about your estimated MPGs? You might be above, you might be below. We'll see what happens in your case. Tell us in the comments where you compare. But here are the potential numbers: 18 city, 23 highway, 20 combined, and 5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Speaking of that, what about your gas tank? It's an 18.5 gallon gas tank. In the city, you should be able to drive about 333 miles on a full tank of gas, 426 out on the highway, and a combined 370. Once again, those are potentials, not guaranteed. Here is your key fob or remote. You're going to have lock, unlock, remote start. You can open and close your power tailgate. You've got your panic button, and via this button right here, if you push that, you can bring the mechanical key out if the battery dies in the key fob or the vehicle itself and you can't unlock the interior. Guess what? You can use that key to do that on the driver's side door, and we'll show you how to do that in just a few seconds. But first of all, let's talk about our cargo space area back here. Here's your hands-free power tailgate. We're going to open that up. Right underneath the rear area down here is where your spare tire is located. It's kind of hard to get down there, so we're not going to show that to you. Now, here's what we have. A couple of different options here. You've got space in here. You've got the plastic side here or the carpeted side, and you can actually flip that over on either side depending on what you need to do with that. And we'll have a 12-volt power outlet right here. So if you need to power something, you've got the ability to do that. To lower these seats, which, by the way, answering a question, see the recline right there compared to the seat on the right? That answers a question that I know a lot of people have, which is, can you recline the rear seats? You can recline all of the seats here in the interior. Now let's talk cargo capacity. What exactly do we have? Behind the third row, it's 18.6 cubic feet. Behind the second row, with that third row folded down, 48.5. Behind the first row, 87 cubic feet. And you actually had the potential to maximize everything to 113.7 cubic feet if you want to do that. And back to the mechanical key. Where do you insert that? Well, it isn't where you might expect it to be. It's actually underneath here. So you have to pull the door handle out, and there is the lock. And you're going to have your black interior. One thing about the Trailsport trim level is you're going to see a lot of orange contrast stitching, a lot of orange interior throughout as far as lettering and different things like that. We have our panoramic sunroof up here. You can draw the shade back and forth depending on if you need to conceal that away or not. That front portion will tilt and slide open. Now, I can recline the seats, as I told you right here. Very easy to do via that lever down there. And also, you'll see the button that has that seat kind of folded forward right there. What that is that's going to allow me to gain access to the third row. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to hop on back here into the rear. Now the seat isn't all the way back. It can come back to about right here. So depending on who you are, you may or may not fit back here, but there is room for adults in this third row. And you can see that we have our cargo or our rear seating area lighting really throughout the interior. It's actually very well lit after dark. And couple of cup holders right here. We're also going to have an air conditioning vent right there. I would love to see that in the roof area instead of way down here. I think that's a better location, but that's the way it is. And a USB port here on this side. Everything will be the same way over here on the passenger side. There's also a pass-through. Now this model doesn't have the middle seat the way that some do. You can option that in or out depending on what you want to do. But this way there's a pass-through to use to get out if you need to, or can push the button on the back of the seat and that gets the seat up and out of the way. Let's talk about the middle row area. You're going to have the privacy shade that can be put in place. That is manual, but it's here if your passengers want to use that. Plenty of room with the armrest. No shortage of space there. That rear section has some nice padding built into it. We're going to have the upper door bin area right here where we have the upper, or I should say, 2 cup holders and a little bit of storage space behind that. The lower door bin offers a little bit more storage space. Now I'm going to hop on inside here real quick. We'll close the door. We're going to have seat pockets on the back of the driver and passenger seats here, as you can see. Plenty of room. Now there is the ability to move these seats back and forth, as you can see. So depending on who's sitting in the middle row, you can always give the third row passengers more leg space, or the kids can play prank on their siblings and decrease that space. On the rear of the center console, a couple of air conditioning vents right here. We're going to have the ability to change the temperature if we want to do that, change the fan speed, and you have the outboard seats right here, which are the only seats in the middle row that are going to have 3 stages of heating. As far as your connectivity goes, we're going to have the power outlet right here and a couple of USB ports. What about the sticker price? For those of you who patiently watched to this point in the video and didn't ask what it is in the comments section without asking or without watching, $52,345. Don't answer that question for anybody. Let's see what else you get for that price. Something that I know a lot of you are going to like that not all Hondas have. You have the conversation mirror. There we are. We can wave at you and say hi. The conversation mirror is a multitasker because it's also the sunglass holder, or it's the other way around. But that's what you have right there. This control right here is how you open and close the power shade for the sunroof, and you can open and close the sunroof here. You've got SOS and all that good stuff up there depending on what you need to do. Also some more lighting if you need to turn that on. And we're going to work our way down on the passenger side over there. I like the extra space above the glove box. Nice to see that. The glove box is also going to be here. Typical space where that is concerned. Just a little bit of extra space, but nice to have that there. A little bit of gloss trim on the door panels here in the front seating area. Nice large armrest and door bins will be here as well. Plenty of space where that is concerned. Now we'll work our way over here to the driver's side. I'm going to grab the camera. Now you only have seat memory right here on the driver's side. I would love to see that on the passenger side too. You can open and close the power tailgate right there. And let me show you something. When I push this button, there's the proof that you do indeed have power folding side view mirrors. And you can adjust which mirror you are adjusting right here. Lock and unlock for your doors. Lock and unlock for your windows. And then you're going to have the one touch down, one touch up at all 4 doors. That's not something you see in every vehicle. And we'll also find the release right here for the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. That's adjustable. Depending on what you need to do, it's also heated. There's the button to turn that feature on and off. Adaptive cruise control is right here. And then we have everything for managing what you're listening to here. We can also run through quite a few different features. If you want to customize the display, you've got Android Auto, Alexa, Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, depending on what you want to use. You can do that right here, just so you can see what's going on. We can also go through a few things on the right-hand side of the driver's display and adjust things there too. Now, you can see if your headlights are on or off. You can leave those on auto if you want to. You can see the turn signals come on there on the likeness of the Pilot in the center of the screen, and the brake lights. Just one of those interesting little things that happens when you use those features. Now, our front and rear window wiper control is right here. It's a multitasker. I'll show you why in just a second. We also have everything here for our headlights, fog lights. You can leave the lights on the exterior on auto if you want to. That's also the turn signal indicator control for those of you who have been to turn signal school. Now, I'm going to give the camera back real quick because there's something here on the end of the lever for your wipers. If I push this, let's go back to the screen. Here's what's going to happen on the screen. Your camera views come up. So there is your front view camera. Got a few different views. There's your side view camera right there. We can make adjustments with the brightness if we want to. And you do have the rear view camera too. In fact, if I start the vehicle up, we'll do that real fast just to show you what's going on where that is concerned. If I go into reverse, there is your rear view camera. And you'll also have that overhead view over there depending on what you need to see. A lot going on here with this nice large screen. Going to have, as again, I told you earlier in the video, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can wirelessly pair things if you need to. And then you've got all of your options for controlling the phone, managing all of that. You can see what all is here. Your vehicle settings are right here. Depending on what you need to do, everything is right here. Easy to see. If you look on the screen, you'll notice that is not the exterior color of this Pilot. How do we fix that? Well, you actually can. If you want it to match the actual exterior color, you can come right here, and there we go. It's now platinum white. But you might say, you know what? I like additional colors, Tom. How about radiant red? There you go. It's right there. Depending on what your preference is, you can choose that accordingly. Kind of a neat little thing. But you can go in and make a lot of different changes to a lot of different areas of the vehicle, manage different things. It just depends on your situation and what you need. Now, we'll work our way down to the air conditioning controls. You're going to notice some more of that orange contrast that I talked about earlier in the video. And this is actually lighting around the button, or should I say dials right here for controlling the dual zone climate control. Depending on what you need to do with that, we can sync both sides together if we want to, or we can just use those individually depending on how you want things. Fan speed, all of that's managed here. Now you only have the heated seats for the driver and the passenger here in the front seating area, just like we did in the middle area, just so you know what's going on. You can manage the front and rear too. Now, a little bit of storage space right here. A phone can fit there. Couple of USB options to use, and your 12-volt power outlet. We're going to have the wireless charging pad right here. Would really love to see Honda add a second, because there is room here. If they move this wireless charging pad over just a little bit, a second one could be right there for the passenger. Here is your push button shifter. That's pretty easy to figure out. You just do that right there, and you can use sequential mode. We've got neutral, reverse, and park. Now, we're going to have our power parking brake right here. Brake hold mode. You can turn the auto stop on and off. In the future, you won't even have to worry about that. And you have hill start assist and hill descent control. Now we'll go up here to the screen, to the driver's display over here. I'm going to show you right over here what your different driving modes are. So you're going to have normal, econ, We also have snow. As you can see, a lot going on. Trail is going to be here. We're also going to have sand, and then we're going to have our tow mode. I'm going to go all the way back up here to sport mode if you want to use that. But let me show you something else. When I went to trail, right here on the screen, the trail cam came up. As you can see, that's what that is. So that's going to let you use the camera at up to 15 miles per hour. And we'll work our way back down here. We've got the center console lid that has plenty of space for an armrest. You've also got your cup holders right there if you need to take advantage of those. I like, again, the lack of gloss black here, although you do have some gloss trim around the shifter and the controls right here. We'll also find quite a bit of space within the center console itself. To start out the test drive, I'm just going to let you listen for a few seconds. And the reason for that is to let you hear what it sounds like around 40 miles an hour or so. See what kind of noise you're getting from the exterior. Now, I don't know how my microphone is picking it up. For me, I don't think it's bad. Everybody has to drive these vehicles for themselves to see what they deem as acceptable or not acceptable when it comes to the noise. Now, you do have these semi-tempered glass here and a little bit of additional insulation that will help to deaden some of that, but you're going to see a little bit of a difference or hear a little bit of a difference depending on the type of tires you have on these different Pilots. So that's, again, one of those things where you're going to have to drive it and make that decision for yourself as to what you think is acceptable and what isn't. Overall, a very comfortable ride quality, even with this being the Trailsport trim level, a little more off-road capable. The ride quality doesn't seem to suffer based on what I'm experiencing. Now, there are a lot of different road surfaces you can drive on, so again, we have to try that out. It's just not having a lot of opportunity here to change road surfaces today and see how that works. But the seats themselves are comfortable, so that's going to complement the shocks and suspension working well here to have a nice, enjoyable ride quality. Plenty of room, especially in the first two rows. The third row has a decent amount of space, and we're also going to find a lot of headspace here, a lot of built-in space as far as adjustable space, I should say, for the driver's seat and the steering wheel. So you can adjust all of that accordingly as needed and make things perfect for the driver. Really shouldn't matter your height. You should be able to drive just fine, get everything set up just fine. It's easy to see out of. That's always nice to have. And the technology here is very easy to learn and use. For those of you that might be new to this type of technology, you might be wondering about that. It's not hard to learn. That's one thing that I really like about Honda, is that it doesn't have complicated technology in any vehicle. Honda makes some of the easiest to learn technology out there, in my opinion, of any manufacturer. The one thing I do think would be helpful, just based on what some of you say, is to have the cameras that stay on while you're driving if you need that. A lot of people ask me about that, believe it or not, with different vehicles. And there are a few out there that do that, that will stay on above, say, 15 miles per hour, which is what you're not going to be able to do here. So at lower speeds, they'll stay on below 15 miles per hour, but you hit that and it's going to go off. And for obvious reasons, it's more of a distraction than anything else. That's the issue, to keep you focused on the road as opposed to on the screen. But I am asked about that by quite a few people, so you can't do that here. But that's the situation. But overall, I'd say the Pilot definitely offers a lot of versatility between space for the driver and passengers, space for cargo. You can do some towing with it, and you can haul whatever you need to back there in that cargo area, groceries, whatever you need to pick up at the store, Christmas presents. It just, whatever fits. There's a lot of room back there, as you know. The one thing I'm always curious to know is if there is something you would like to see Honda add or change in the future with the Pilot that maybe isn't currently here. And there it is, the 2026 Honda Pilot Trailsport. Is this the Pilot you shouldn't overlook? As far as versatility, it offers a lot. Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda Bossier City for loaning us this Pilot for the day so we can tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media, which we also appreciate. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.